Hello everybody, this is your friend Darren Iman, the Master of Shenanigans. On today's quick draw, I'm going to be drawing my all-time favorite character in the Bat family. Next to Batman himself, that would be Nightwing. Okay, and here we go. So once again, I'm just going to be doing a torso shot, so you're going to see this go extraordinarily quickly. Otherwise, there's just no chance I'm ever going to have time. I'm going to have enough time. Nightwing, by far my favorite of all the Robin characters, of all the Robins. Never cared for Jason Todd. I do like him better as an anti-hero. Although that is kind of a contradiction in terms, because as Robin, he was sort of an anti-hero, but he didn't, and that's kind of why he didn't work as Robin. As a Red Hood, I think he's a great character. Jason Todd, excuse me, Tim Drake, I do like very much as a character, but not as much as Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is great. He's the one comic that back when I used to buy comics regularly when I lived in Montreal, here in the Sioux, it's borderline impossible. I mean, I can buy back issues, but that's about it. But when I used to buy, when I had a pull list back at my favorite comic shop in Montreal, Astro Comics, Nightwing was the top of my list. Okay, anyway, so can't waste too much. Not quite as chatty as I normally am. I can't waste too much time here. I've got to a very, very tight schedule on this torso. So I already have the idea in mind. So I'm basically tracing over imaginary lines that exist in my head, if that makes any sense. Okay, and he has these wrist gauntlets. That was the thing about Batman, all the Arkham games. I love Batman, obviously, but I wanted to play as Nightwing so bad. And you know, they had the Robin sequence in Arkham Knight where you could play as Robin. They had in Arkham City, they had the whole downloadable content where you could play as Catwoman, and it's like I just want to play as Nightwing. But I realized then, of course, why that would have been impossible, and that was because the game mechanic is Batman essentially flying using his grapple. That was how he got around. He would basically fly by using his grapple and gliding, and Nightwing doesn't have a cape, so how would they mimic that? So Robin had the cape, and they had that mechanic. And I guess I never played the downloadable content for Catwoman, but from what I understand, you just kind of slammed around into buildings, and it was kind of silly. So I guess I'm glad that they didn't butcher Dick Grayson like that. But Dick Grayson, I've always thought would be far better at the sort of city parkour than Batman. even though Batman is sort of the best at everything. I thought that was really Dick Grayson's thing, because he was the the gymnast, the Flying Grayson. Okay, can't afford to spend too much more time on this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna kind of cheat and just do most of the detail in the ink. So we got a downward look. He's got like the Batman eyes. Downward nose, mouth kind of right underneath the nose because of the tilt. And we're going to give him a smirk. Why? Because he's not Batman. He's got his own personality, and that's what I've always liked about him. He's always a little cocky, but just the right amount. Not like Jason Todd. And of course, the reason why I like Tim Drake is because he also has his own personality. One of the things about comics back in the really early days, you had Superman saving Lois Lane every month in formulaic kind of stories, and when books like, I kind of credit the 80s, maybe I'm just kind of revealing how old I am here, but I credit the 80s as being the best period in comics. Everyone talks about the golden age, but the 80s were when these characters really began to be taken seriously. Like, look no further than The Watchmen. The Watchmen was a series of books that lasted about 12 issues. And yet, the characters were real. They had their own personalities. They had their own... Marvel did that as well, don't get me wrong. Like, that was what was, in fact, that's a perfect analogy, because that's what was great about Marvel, is that Marvel Comics, when Superman was saving Lois Lane month after month, Spider-Man had to figure out where he's going to do his laundry, Okay, let's ink this sucker. But yeah, in the 80s, like those characters, like Daredevil, Born Again, Batman Year One, which was really a Jim Gordon story, really focused on these characters and giving them their own unique personalities. And Batman and Robin were very cookie-cutter characters up until, The Brave and the Bold with Neil Young, and then with Nightwing, had to leave the sort of Bat family in order to find his own way, right? And therefore he is his own unique character. And not just a bargain basement Batman, but his own unique character who has like a lot of very complicated relationship with his father figure. Imagine being raised by the Batman. Like, you would be probably the most competent fighter detective around, but you would have daddy issues for sure. I, on the other hand, was not raised by the Batman. I was raised by a French mechanic in Northern Ontario. Okay, almost 9 minutes here. So as you can tell, I did not spend a lot of time chatting on this one. And even with that, I still have 1 minute left to finish this sucker. Okay, I think it can be done. But these full torso quick draws are just freaking nuts, man. gotta start just doing head sketches, or I'm never gonna have a chance to get all this done. Of course, my marker needs to be done. And his emblem. Comes around onto here. I think pretty much got a good, kind of decent Nightwing pose. How are we doing for curses! 10:42. Okay. I wasn't looking at the time, so about a minute over on this one. There's still a lot I'd like to do on it, but we're gonna have to leave it right there. There is our one of my all-time favorite comic book characters. If you get a chance, read anything to do with Nightwing. The older books, I'm not really up to date on the New 52. They could be awesome, I don't really know, but the traditional Nightwing character back in the before the New 52 came out is sort of what my bread and butter was. This has been another Quick Draw in the Books. Remember, please, to like, click, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.